Captain Reality, and my friend here, his name is
MOORHSUM.
and we're going to be talking about Jeffrey Grupp. Jeffrey Grupp has changed a lot. He used to be a New World Order type researcher who was really esoteric. Now he has changed. He is a Christian guy now, and he's a lot different.
And what about his differences would, strike kind of a chord with the New World Order group? What are you saying is wrong with differences of opinion? It sounds like you're saying he was more convinced of a other opinion or philosophy. Can you go into more detail what your kind of the undertone of this talk is about with regards to that?
It's just that people that were into his older stuff might not be as happy as they could be with his newer Christian bent, because I think Christianity's great and everything. I'm baptized Christian, but he's not talking about the same type of things as he used to, and that you're talking about his fans, that would make his older fans unhappy.
Exactly. Much more fulfilling is when you actually research truth sincerely from your heart rather than like to get to a destination, like to figure out something, because then you're sort of doing it out of a problem reaction solution sort of thinking, which is what the elite gave us, rather than like a heart out of heart solution, which would be like the most creative thing, which is to study yourself, to know why you are motivated to do things. And I think starting with truth would obviously make the least amount of insincerity. So that being said, it makes you wonder if all things are that we perceive in society as positive and negative must be some kind of bigger outcome of this conflict between the heart and the brain, like thinking versus feeling kind of thing. So that makes you wonder if the whole society is actually in some sense never really positive. It's actually always a conflict, because due to our ability to explore that which we perceive as other and things that are created out of nothing or out of thin air are due to a missing link or connection to seeing things all as whole, all as connected, all as one. So thus it would make you wonder, do these people who insincerely look at things, are they really, really who we think they are? And do we actually need to let them go as the people they chose to be, because they may not be ready. They may have already did their purpose serving the truth, and they may have different angles of which they have to go and study their dark side, or the Jungian side of their psychology or something. And the people who stay in the light, we just need to not perceive ourselves as dark, as really as bad as we're perceived in society. That's how I look at so far what you've said about Grupp and just growth, and yet it feels also like there's some kind of misguidance from having not been able to develop with him.
Yeah, it's really positive to me. I mean, I haven't gotten into much of his Christian stuff, but I have his books, Corporatism and the Telescreen, and they're great books. And he gives a lot of opinion, and
I have three of his books too. I wanted to put that in before we keep talking. Go ahead.
yeah, so those are great books,
And let's mention his other books while we're at it. You said the first two. Mereological Nihilism is the third one that I own, and then he also owns two more. He owns Telamentation, a philosophical view on uh, meditation with a twist or something like that. I think that's like the subtitle. It's like it's his opinion that meditation is guided is a practice to be more spiritual, but there's a twist to it. You still live in physical reality, and those physical angles and attributes have to do with everything you do. So if you just meditate to meditate on ultimate reality and you come back into your physical reality hoping it changed, you have to actually feel the changes into your reality. You can't just expect them to be there once you've had some feelings that are different from your physical state. So that's what he means by telementation. Is your he calls everyone who telements a telementor or something like that, and you telementation when you meditate. It's another word for it's a word to mix in like your telescreen in your brain, the thing that is showing you thoughts and images and word contexts and stuff in different contexts of life. He calls that your telescreen, and then he mixed it with the word meditation. So telementation is the final word for that. And then he also has another book, I believe, about. Oh yes, he also sells more of his Christian side. He sells a book on poetry. He has a book on poetry, I believe. Some of it may be not related to Christianity, but some of it is, I think. And he has like a secret poetry book on his website, which is called.
You're the only person that calls him Jeff Grupp, right?
No, there's other people. Like he's been on this show called Coast to Coast AM for his Christianity interviews when he's been a Christian, and they called him Jeff Grupp on that. So he's Jeff and Jeffrey Grupp. Look right here, it says Jeff Grupp on the drums, Jeffrey Grupp, Atomic Buddhism, and then over here it says Jeff Grupp, Physical Reality is a Computer Simulation, which is I think that's way too overly drastic of a interview. Here's another one. Jeff Grupp, is there a reason to believe in a God? And he debates like a bunch of people on the Non Sequitur show about God and other things. Here's another. So he is called Jeff by many channels. Here's another one. Jeff Grupp, teaching videos. So I'm not the only one just calling him Jeff. Here's another one. Jeff Grupp, Logic of Paradox. Sorry?
You're not the only one breaking the tradition of calling him Jeffrey.
Yeah, that was his old name, I guess. Okay, I found his website, praiseandlove.net. There we go. And that'll show me his books. And I'm not sure if he still has that poetry book on there. So we'll see here in a second. But he does have like 6 books in total. He has his first book, Corporatism, second book, Telescreen, third book, Telementation, fourth book, Mereological Nihilism, fifth book, Poetry, and sixth book, there's one on like his school stuff he did in school that he wrote, which he talks about like, seventh book, God, Faith, Discovering the Pure Logic Built into the Fabric of Reality. eighth book, Theologic, Revelation, Calvinism, Surrender, Nothingness. And here's the sixth book I was talking about, Critical Thinking Notes, University of Michigan, Dearborn, 2013, Jeff Grupp. So his eighth book or seventh book, I can't remember which one I said, on the poetry is no longer on sale on his website. He must have thought it was not according to God or something. So anyway, so yeah, he's got like 8, 9 books.
We were talking about Jeffrey Grupp and how he's changed. And how his old fans wouldn't like how he is now, really. Because he's too Christian obsessed.
That makes you wonder how Christianity operates. If you can be whoever you want it to be and just instantly transmit to a different religion. It sounds silly. It's like a kid who's a bully on the schoolyard, and then all of a sudden goes home and asks his mommy for mac and cheese and if she can give him a belly rub.
Yeah.
It just seems kind of dovetailed. Like one seems to lay down the law here, but then he needs his mommy to rub his belly over here. So it's like, what?
So it's like, what? Yeah, he's getting his belly rubbed. These days. In the Christian community. And, that's all you can really say. Right?
No. Not at all. The analogy didn't make sense with what you just said.
That's good.
The analogy was just about how two different ways you act can't be compartmentalized into one philosophy. It's gonna not make sense. So then you said he's getting his belly rubbed. And that's what we're getting at, is like, why does he need his belly rubbed now?
Because we're headed towards a fucking economic meltdown.
Yeah, what is the meltdown in terms of impact? As far as what Jeffrey Grubb would say it's going to do. He would say it's something awesome, like it's going to lead to more people desiring to be more self-efficient or something, because that's Jeffrey Grubb's always his take. He's like, man, I see greatness. He says that in his recent Coast to Coast interviews. He says, man, I see human greatness coming, but I see a lot of pain too sometimes, maybe in the middle.
What type of greatness does he see?
Humanity greatness, like some men rising from the phoenix, of the ashes of the phoenix, to be super godlike, awesome, and taking on the reins of the problem. I don't know. Like most tough men do when things go to crap.
So there's going to be some tough guys that come along and fight the Illuminati?
Just fight just fight laziness, really, because that's really what we're gonna have a issue with the economy. The economy is merely a kind of like a gestalt way of showing us that we're not important in the big picture of things, and that there's always someone else who will take our resources. So, I think Jeffrey Grubb will look at it like it's a positive. We're getting rid of this useless way of looking at humans as all just controlling one another, and we're going to build more, we're going to take on more responsibility with our own lives rather than with what we think our lives should look like according to this and that expert. I think he said this on Coast to Coast. He said, humans will be able to construct some kind of future where we're not completely judged by God. But then again, that guy on Coast to Coast, I think, said, and I've heard this by other people who've been on the interviews on radio stations, who've said God always has to chastise if there's a bunch of people who are not godly. He will always have to chastise everyone by means of the most effective way, which is hunger and work. Hunger and work gets people moving, because if you're hungry, then other people are going to notice there's hungry people, and then if people are lazy, then people are going to notice they're not getting as much done, they're not getting stuff, so work is going to make them want to get up. And unfortunately, Jeff Grupp doesn't talk a lot about like why we have no issue with the economy if most people, Jeffrey Grupp says like most people don't enjoy their lives, most people know they don't enjoy their lives, yet they still work for the economy. They still work for the dollar. So Jeff Grubb needs to go into that a little bit more about the balancing effect of not being, of being chastised properly. It seems like we're chastised improperly. Like we're chastised in one area, then it gets loose on the other area, then we're chastised over there. We need like a total chastisement so we're all good. Instead, it's like it seems like God prefers certain people to do whatever they want, and the other people just get bullied. It seems like that is what goes on sometimes in my view. And I think Jeffrey Grupp would agree. So, let's go on more with Jeffrey Grupp's future. What do you see him doing if his Christianity crusade is once again periled by the Illuminati controlling most people, and especially when Max Egan claims the Illuminati controls Christians just as much as anyone else, because Christians are completely blind today in this society. What do you think is Jeff Grubb's future with if he fails at his crusades and stuff and sees something wrong with this crusade rather than the New World Order crusade? What do you and tell me a little bit about Max Egan, his theories about how Christians are just as blind as anyone else in the system we live in, if you want to.
Well, Jeffrey Grupp is just going to continue to be the Christian enthusiast that he is, and that's going to carry on. And Max Egan has always talked bad about all religions, saying that they're all bad.
Right. What at an energetic level, like, or at more a more obvious level, like they just take up land and they tell you what to think and they don't give you any other options, kind of thing, or at every level. Like, what's the most important level that it's evil at, in your opinion, and in Max's opinion?
In Max's opinion, it's just that a lot of harm gets done as a result of religions.
Right. And the higher up you are, the more responsible and more powerful you are, but also the more responsible you are. So you could think of it like kind of like being the. You could think of it as kind of being like stuck in a video game section that sucks. I mean, you're surrounded by evil if you're at the top of the leaderboard and stuff. You're just like, I mean, just look at the video games we have. Like Bowser and Super Mario. Bowser's just in this evil lava place forever. I mean, how boring would that get? I mean, he has Peach, so I mean, he has a hot dame, but how boring would that get? I mean, after hearing her talk for 20 minutes and sitting around looking at a bunch of fire and black. So Bowser doesn't necessarily intrigue anyone. And then who else is a bad guy in the movie? Sauron, the Eye of Sauron, and the Sauron character too. He's like this dark ghost that's just like dead, and there's an eye on top of a huge. In Lord of the Rings, there's just this eye on top of this huge tower. I mean, how boring.
Yeah, a lot of people think that's fascinating as it gets, though.
Yeah, like we tend to be like, wow, the Illuminati's so powerful, they're so great, blah blah blah. But then if you look at it, it's like, I mean, they're just, I don't know. So I'm sure the ones at the top are just having a blast, but at the same time, yeah, I don't know. It's a video game. It's a video game.
Whatever they want.
It's a video game. It's like a video game. It literally is like a video game because by the time you've thought about what they do, they've done it like a million times and they've already done other stuff too. So, I mean, but you think that they are just stuck in one place, like doing the same thing over and over again. It's literally like a video game because you don't have enough information to know what they do, where they are, what they like, what they don't like, what they do, what the blah, 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 blah. Who knows what they do? But anyway, I'm getting back to the point, is it's like a video game because you treat yourself comparatively to how other people are living. And so it's like when you level up or you get to the next thing and you want more and more and more and more and more. I think Jeff Grupp has a lot of inspiration that we will never know where he got it from. I think he was studying a lot and he told some good books like Bonnie Gaunt's book, Beginnings, which is like a super esoteric book on all the secret mathematics involved in our planet, especially, but the universe. And it's just it's embarrassingly probably the most important book because apparently she wrote a bunch of good stuff. Jeff said in that book that has all the numbers of the universe in it, stuff that will help you understand yourself better. That's a good one. Bonnie Gaunt's numbers or beginnings. Bonnie Gaunt's Beginnings is the name. Bonnie Gaunt. Bonnie Gaunt. You know who Jeffrey Grubb would be? You know what Jeffrey Grubb should have been in? He should have been an actor. He would have been really funny and cool and like movies like that movie with Dave Chappelle, How High or something, and then another one could have been like he could have been in Office Space with Ron Livingston. He could have been in he could have been in the show Friends.
Who do they blame 9/11 on? What's his name?
So Osama bin Laden?
Osama bin Laden. Yeah, they're saying Osama bin Laden and Barack Obama were the same person, and there was a guy that had a picture on his YouTube channel of Osama bin Laden shaved and with a haircut like Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that Jeff would get back to me, but he never did.
Right. That's unbelievable. I mean, if you really think about it, that is kind of creepy. If they could have done that, just thinking about if they could have done that, not saying they did or that is real, but that is weird to think about. What if they did that?
Well, that's the thing. The Osama bin Laden with his head shaved and with his face shaved and his haircut didn't look like Barack Obama at all.
How did they tell him to shave his head and all that, like Barack Obama? They just took a picture when he was shaved.
No, it was just a drawing.
It makes you wonder how long ahead they had all 9/11 planned. I wish Jeff would have talked about that. Obviously, ramming something into two towers probably wasn't planned back then, but they were probably like, okay, signal 9/11 is important, signal this is important, yada yada yada. When that time comes or whatever.
Yeah, 9/11 was probably planned in the 70s.
I just don't know what to think about what you do when you're different than so many people and you can't communicate to so many people.
The elites want to look stupid and gay. So they get Alex Jones out there to act like a fool when he's the top conspiracy guy who knows an incredible amount. He's read thousands of books. So, but he's CIA. He's not legit. Yeah, that's it. Alex Jones is a shill. Didn't you know that?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and finish up the talk and I'll finish up.
Okay, well that's it. Jeffrey Grupp is great. Check him out.
I agree. Check him out. Thank you, Face Reality. I can't remember your name. All right, I'll just end it there.